to share a little bit about Eric that I have from his website. I mean, I've had the honor of speaking to him and learning more of his passion and personality, but I think it's important to know some of his accomplishments before he shares some of his own accomplishments in the sense of his arrangements and songs and beautiful tunes. But Eric is a 2-time winner of the Arizona Blues Showdown. He's also the winner of the Stefan George Memorial Songwriting Competition, which is from the Tucson Folk Festival. He's a finalist in the Telluride Blues Challenge. He's a semifinalist in the International Blues Challenge. He's been 4 times featured performer at Dripping Springs Songwriters Festival, which is in Texas. He's a featured artist at the Flagstaff Folk Project, featured performer at Tempe Center for the Arts Songwriter Showcase, and he's also a featured performer from the Phoenix Blues Blast, the Superstition Blues and Blues Festival, the North Mountain Blues Festival, and Chandler Jazz Festival. And one of the things that I think for all of us, which is important to know, is that he's a local. It's always nice to have local musicians that perform nationally for sure, and then for us, of course. So thank you, Eric, for today. I'm going to spotlight you and give you the floor.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. These days I'm happy to play for anyone, anywhere. It's just nice to have someone to listen, because my family's sick of all of my songs at this point, and the dogs don't really care at all anymore, and it's very nice to have an audience. So thank you for being here, and thank you, Lori, for making the introduction. So, that stuff that Levi read off of my website, it did come from the internet, and everything is absolutely true on the internet. So I'm sure that there's no fiction there or anything. So I'm gonna play a few songs. If you have, Lori, you know my music more than anyone else probably here, and if there's something you'd like to hear, let me know, okay? Or if there's something you don't want to hear, let me know. And I'm going to play a couple of different instruments, and I'll talk a little bit about those as I play them. And first of all, is the audio okay? Levi, just thumbs up, or you can hear okay? Sounds good. All right. Well, this is a song I wrote for some friends of mine. It's called "Big Old Bunch of Your Love." I hope you like it. Holes in my windows, holes in my screens, holes in the patches of my old blue jeans. I ain't got nothing. No, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing but a big old bunch of your love. Holes in my gutter, holes in my roof, holes in my shoes. If you need more proof, I ain't got nothing. Oh, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing but a big old bunch of your love. Empty refrigerator, empty gas tank, an empty safe box down at my bank. My pew sits empty on Sunday morn, be empty when Gabriel blows his horn. Preacher says I got a hole in my soul. Seems like even my holes got holes. I ain't got nothing. No, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing but a big old bunch of your love. Some unintended jazz notes in there. Empty rooms, empty halls, empty frames hanging on empty walls. so much empty. I'm laying claim to a spot in the Holy Hall of Fame. Hole in my belly, and that ain't all. I got a great big hole in my outhouse stall. I ain't got nothing. No, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing but a big old bunch of your love. Well, you might think I got a hole in my head, but I don't need nothing when it's done and said. No, I don't need nothing. No, I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing but a big old bunch of your love. No, I don't need nothing but a big old bunch of your love. I've been fortunate. I've been playing music full time for about the last 6 years. I was an electrician for the majority of my adult life, and I was given an opportunity to do music full time by my wife, who said, "You know, I think you're pretty good. Why don't we see where this can go?" And so, all of the things that Levi had mentioned from my website and the things I've been able to do are directly a result of her support and her love and her belief in me. And I can't thank her enough, so I try to thank her every time I possibly can. And I'm just a very, very lucky guy that way. This is a song called "It's All Right." I think it's apropos for today. These days, anyway. Some days it's easy, some days it ain't. Some days you're the sinner, some days you're the saint. Some days the pleasure don't seem worth all the pain. Some days you win, some days you lose, and some days it just rains. Sometimes you struggle, oh, but sometimes you soar. Sometimes you beat your head against the wall, and you don't know what for. Sometimes the road seems uphill both ways. Sometimes you feel just like a rat in a maze. Oh, but it's all right, 'cause the sun's coming up tomorrow. Yeah, but it's all right. Sometimes you feel rich, sometimes you feel poor. Sometimes you cower under your bed in a ball on the floor. Sometimes the world just won't leave you alone. So you close all your windows, you lock with your phone. Some nights you slumber, some nights you dream deep. Some nights the rattling bones in your closet won't let you sleep. Some nights seem like they'll never end. Dream that you're running with your angels, but your demons are waiting just round the bend. Oh, but it's alright, 'cause the sun's coming up tomorrow. Yeah, but it's alright, it's all ain't gonna last forever. Yeah, but it's alright. Stories have happy endings. Yeah, but it's alright. It's alright. Thank you. I'm going to switch guitars here and play a different one. This is called a resonator guitar. And it's a completely different animal. It doesn't have a regular sound hole, a traditional sound hole. This whole pie plate shaped hubcap thing here covers what looks like the cone of a speaker, and it's made out of aluminum. And these guitars became very popular back in the 30s, the late 20s and the 30s and the 40s for big bands, because bands had gotten so large that the guitar couldn't be heard over all the horns and the woodwinds and stuff. So there were a couple of different manufacturers that came up with this system to help amplify the sound of the guitar so that they could be heard along with the rest of the instruments in a large big band, like a concert band kind of thing. But the result is, and this one has a steel body. It's made out of metal, which is good if you have to fight your way out of an unpleasant situation somewhere, I suppose. I've played some places that I was happy to have this thing along. But you can hear it sounds quite a bit different than a regular wooden guitar. And I'm going to play it with a slide on my finger. And the style that this is called bottleneck style, because a lot of the old-time blues players actually used the ends. They would cut the end off of their wine bottle or break the end off of it, and they would use the neck of their wine bottle for the guitar. And what I do is I slide it up and down the strings. So it's a little different than what you might normally hear. And I'm going to play a song that I wrote for my little boy. He's no longer little. He's 23 now and just recently engaged, actually, so it's kind of cool. This was fatherly advice to a young boy, and he wasn't interested in it then, and he's not interested in it now either, but it's called Wills and Won'ts. Life is full of do's and don'ts. It's up to you if you will or won't. Life is full of do's and don'ts. It's up to you if you will or won't. Life is full of highs and lows. You watch your luck, watch it come and go. Life is full of highs and lows. You watch your luck, oh, you watch it come, you watch it go. Life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes the jester wears the crown. Life is full of ups and downs. Well, sometimes you're the jester, oh, but sometimes you get to wear that crown. Life is full of do's and don'ts. It's up to you if you will or won't. Life is full of do's and don'ts. It's up to you if you will. I said it's up to you if you will. I said it's up to you if you will or won't. With your do's and don'ts, you either will or you won't. Your do's and don'ts. Thank you. How is the volume okay and everything? It's all good.
Everything is perfect. Is that also called a Hawaiian guitar, or because they look very similar?
It is called I'm actually going to play a Hawaiian style guitar here in just a minute.
Oh, okay.
It's actually the generic name is called a dobro, and that comes from the combining of two. I mentioned that there were a couple of manufacturers that came up with this design. One of those manufacturers were the Dopyera brothers, Dopyera brothers, and they shortened do from Dopyera and bro from brothers into one word because they would fit on the headstock, and it said dobro. This particular guitar is made by the National Guitar Company, which was the other main manufacturer of those guitars back then. And a lot of old blues guys play them. They fell out of fashion for a while, and they're kind of back with all of the new Americana roots kind of music that you hear out there a lot these days. Well, Levi, you just gave me a great segue into this other guitar. Then I'll just play this. This is a Hawaiian style guitar. It's actually the name of it is a Weissenborn guitar. It was designed by a fella named Weissenborn, actually, and you can see it's quite a bit different shape. It's got a traditional sound hole like a regular acoustic guitar, but this whole tight quarters here. This is all the sound chamber, so this is all open. And so you get a resonance and a depth of sound unlike any other stringed instrument that I've ever played. And other than that, the construction's similar. I mean, it's made out of wood. This particular guitar is made out of mesquite back and sides, and the top is made out of mahogany. And this was built for me by a fella up in Flagstaff, a luthier in Flagstaff named Bill Burke. And I got to plug it in real quick. Obviously, this guitar, unless you have enormous hands, you can't play it in the traditional style. So these are designed to be played flat on your lap. And I don't know how to get a camera angle so you can kind of see what's going on with that. And I don't know. That's probably better than looking at me anyway. So you're not supposed to laugh at that. That's self-deprecating humor. It's not supposed to be funny. Anyway, I play this with what's called a steel, which is nothing more than a big old chunk of metal, and you slide it up and down the strings, kind of like I did with the glass bottle on the resonator guitar. Isn't that a pretty sound? It'll go for days. It'll just sustain for days and days and days and days. This is this guitar is tuned to an open C chord. If there are any musicians out there, it's just an open C. This is a song I wrote for my wife. It's called "Nothing Compares to You." Every once in a while, I need to write a nice song for my wife. That gets me out of trouble. It's called "Nothing Compares to You." sapphires or diamonds, silver or gold, children's choirs or puppies to hold, church bells or sleigh bells or Christmas Eve snow. Nothing compares to you. My favorite old jeans just out of the dryer, falling asleep in front of a fire. Crisp autumn apples straight from the tree. Nothing compares to you. Now a world without hunger or heartache or fear just might compare to you, my dear. Oh, but I must be honest, nothing comes near, nothing compares to you. Ninth inning, game-winning home runs. My old dog fast asleep in the sun. Rain on a tin roof or a hill country spring. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to you.
Is that instrument more difficult to learn to play?
It's different. I don't know that it's more difficult. If you were to start with this instrument, it's probably easier because it gives you, it's very melodic right off the bat. If you strum that, and the hard part about playing this instrument is getting the bar in the right place so that it sounds in tune. Because if you're off just a little bit, it sounds pretty bad. And that takes some time and some practice, and it takes sounding bad for a long time before you start to sound good on it. But as far as playing songs, some of the drawbacks of playing regular guitar is you have to learn how to press the strings down, and that hurts for a while until you develop calluses on the tips of your fingers. You don't have that problem with this type of guitar because you're using the steel. So it's mainly a matter of learning how to control where the steel goes when you want it to go there. And it's a limitation is that it's you tend to play only in one key since it's tuned to a specific chord. It's easier to play songs in the key of the chord that it's tuned to. Whereas a regular guitar, you have more options, I guess, depending on how you play the chords. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. Sure. I'm going to play you a holiday tune. It's a couple years ago. There used to be a place in Phoenix called the Listening Room. I think Lori may have been there. I don't know if anyone else was. It was a small venue.
I think you hit your chord again.
I did. I forgot to mute it. I'm sorry. It seated, I think it maybe seated 50 people or so. But it was designed, they didn't serve food. They didn't serve drinks. You could bring something if you wanted to have something to drink during the show, but it was specifically for listening to an artist. And it was wonderful. They had a beautiful stage and great lighting and a wonderful sound system. And they went out of business about a year ago, unfortunately. One of the last shows they put on there was a holiday show, and they asked several of us local songwriters to write an original holiday song for this show. They recorded that show, and then they pressed a CD, made a CD of the songs to try to raise a little bit of money, I think, to stay in business, but that didn't work, unfortunately. But this is the song that I wrote for that. It's called What Else Do We Need? It's about a fella that you don't know if he's hallucinating or if he's definitely a fella that's down on his luck, I think, and he's witnessing a nativity scene. Whether or not it actually happens, you'll have to determine that, I guess, yourself. So what else do we need? Come, they told me, so come I did. Didn't see nothing, just a little bitty kid, no different than any other newborn babe. So why do all these folks come all this way? I seen lots of babies in my time, and I would be a rich man if I had a dime for every cigar I'd been given by a brand new dad who believed his son to be the one to fix a world gone mad. Never even knew I was a sinner. Never understood the concept of a saint. All I ever tried to do was to be as kind to you as I wanted you to be to me. And tell me, what else do we need? I can't seem to get away from this old town. I keep my head down, I work my piece of ground. I don't have much money to my name, but I come here to pay tribute all the same. Here's an old coat, it'll surely keep him warm. It used to be my boy's, but he don't need it anymore. Oh, but I don't want to go much into that. No, I done all my thinking over that. I never even knew I was a sinner. Never understood the concept of a saint. All I ever tried to do was to be as kind to you as I wanted you to be to me. And tell me, what else do we need? Them stars sure look bright there in the heavens. Or that might just be the traffic getting off the interstate. Most nights by now I can't tell up from down. And folks usually pass on by this town. Well, I reckon I'll just be on my way. Got no room here in this stable, and I got no place to stay. Don't scare the little fella in his bed. He needs his rest for what will surely lie ahead. If you want me, I'll be down the road from here. 'Cause Archangel Michael owes me another beer. At least that's what I thought he said, long before he put this notion in my head. Never even knew I was a sinner. Never understood the concept of a saint. All I ever tried to do was to be as kind to you as I wanted you to be to me. Tell me, what else do we need? What else do we need? What else do we need? Thank you. I guess that's about all the songs I had prepared for you guys.
I have a question for you. Two questions. Sir. Do you find that blues music is specific to, is it more Bible, like areas in the United States? Is there a specific area that you'd say it came from a past, whether it was tough times, or meaning what's the origins of the actual blues movement?
I think blues probably developed in the South, in the Southeast, during slave time. And it became a way for the black community to, a lot of it was early protest music, but it was housed in melody and in song, so they could sing about things that were happening to them when they couldn't come right out and talk about them. And it became a form of communication, I think, for people going through the same experiences, the same working the plantations, having to deal with Jim Crow law and things right. like that. And I think that it was very, very regional for a long time. It became better known when some white folks decided that they liked to play blues, and it became truly international, I think, because of the universality of a lot of the topics. I mean, everyone has bad stuff happen to them, and everyone goes through hard times one way or another. You can be the wealthiest person in the world monetarily and still have horrible things happen to you, and blues helps to sort of, there's a commonality there that I think everyone can relate to when it comes to things that hurt you inside.
Yeah. So for you, for example, your journey into blues, did it start with country, or was this just something you picked up as a child?
I think I probably listened to country music when I was a kid. Kansas is sort of a redneck state, and there was a lot of country music back then. When as a teenager, I was very into the old Allman Brothers bands and that kind of stuff, and so they played electric blues, and learning about them and learning how to play their music sort of sent me in the direction to find out where that stuff came from, what the origins of it came, where the origins came from, and so I was drawn to that style, and I've always liked the evocative and emotive aspect of acoustic blues. I think that if you watch any YouTube videos of some of the old blues masters, there's a pain and a power in their delivery that I can't replicate, because I haven't felt what they've done. I haven't been through what they've been through, but they're expressing their soul. They're putting their soul out there for you to see and to hear, and I've always found that was very powerful.
It's funny for me. I think a lot of people here are going to laugh. My introduction to blues was from a Jewish blues singer.
Yeah.
His name is Saul K. He was traveling through Phoenix once, did a little concert. Maybe I'll have to ask him if he would come on once. So I really never experienced, like, I've read about it since then because of that.
Uh-huh.
I like I like your songs. I like how you play.
Well, thank you. I didn't really play any straight traditional blues today. But I have blues influences in a lot of my stuff. But there are also influences from some of the folk singers and some jazz guys, and it's a kind of an amalgam.
So on your, I know how you always reference or I reference your website, and you make the joke that whatever's on the internet is not always true. When you win, for example, when you go to some of these, I guess, concerts or festivals, are you winning because of a song, or how do people decide? I'm just curious. Is it for a specific song, or it's just the
sometimes the songwriting contest that I won in Tucson was for a specific song. You could submit. Anyone could enter. You could enter if you were a songwriter, and you submitted 2 songs, and they were judged, and then there were finalists chosen from all of the submissions, and then the finalists played their songs for another set of judges, and so they liked what I played, I guess. These other festivals and things are not really contests. They're just weekend-long music festivals with multiple stages and multiple songwriters, and so people kind of wander around, and you listen to people that you like, and you're exposed to people that you've never heard of before. People come from all over the country to listen and to perform too. Yeah, they're usually by invitation.
So, and the reason why I was asking is, like, the Arizona Blues Showdown, so that's not necessarily for a specific song then?
No, that's for a performance, actually. That was a whole performance, and that's something that's put on by the Blues Foundation, which is a national international organization based in Memphis, Tennessee. And they have chapters throughout the country. The Phoenix Blues Society is one of the chapters, and every year they do a competition, and they have 2 different categories. They have a band category and a solo category. And so for a couple of years, I was fortunate enough to win the solo category for the Phoenix area, and then I went to Memphis to compete in the International Blues challenge.
Oh, that's pretty
which
cool.
is the same format, but just
Larger.
broader scope. Yeah.
Nice. I see that Ethel or Herb, did you have a question? I saw you unmuted.
No, I just wanted to add that if anybody has seen PBS, followed by the name of Ken Burns, who did a whole series on music, starting with the Deep South, going way back to when it all started and bringing it up to today. It was very interesting.
That's a great documentary.
Not just about blues though, or just about the blues.
Well, it's a little bit about everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I want to mention before we, if you want to read or listen to more about Eric Ramsey, he has a website. Hopefully everything on his website is true. EricRamsey.net. So if you see his name in the bottom of of the screen, you just no space.net, and you can find more of his music, more about him. And I know that if you like the blues music, you'll find some great content on his website.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for all for being here. And,
thank you very much.
Please stay well and stay safe, and take care of each other. That's kind of what we got to do these days.
Yes, that's right. Thank you.